I was listening to one comic, Sherelle. White boy. What's that white boy name?
Andrew.
No. Gary Owens.
Gary.
When he said his wife like went to like literally went to Cali to try to file. She like left like Oregon or some weird shit and like went to Cali. It was crazy, but I haven't researched that enough, but I did see that one thing, um this one because I'm just yeah, I think he got divorced, Mr. Ray. I think he got divorced. This one. Men implement all these laws. Right? And then look at the talk about divorce and etc. And then men already said a lot of things that we do and aspire to is for the interests of women.
So y'all, so what you with? You with the secret matriarchy now?
Huh?
That's where you like your premise of this is that you believe in the secret matriarchy.
No, I'm just thinking about it. I'm just looking at different things.
So you don't believe in it, but you're like you're entering into this conspiracy.
Well, I'm looking at the conduct. Right? I'm looking at the conduct. Like think about the argument that Red Pill Ranger made in the chat. They ended up as single moms. So they can't be true. What are you talking about? Motherfuckers already saying.
I now feel like you.
Motherfuckers already saying, right? Marriage ain't the goal. Men been saying that, right? That's what we've been hearing overwhelmingly. And then women saying they don't value marriage the same.
Now, HAMP, when I talked about the secret matriarchy, y'all came up here. I had to fight 25 minutes. This what you gonna do today?
What?
You're saying see. Like you believe
they might agree. That was 6-7 months ago.
So you're believing in a conspiracy that women are the ones that are in control.
I'm looking at everything so far. Then this nigga here.
What nigga?
Earl Haas, you know him? He invented the tampon so his wife can go to work.
So she can go to work.
And this is what I'm saying, right? This is perfect, right? This is the key. See, that's why the tampon is funny, right? But when you think about it, right? His wife needed to be more productive, right? She was using the rags that weren't working, right? He's already, he's an educated doctor of osteopathic medicine, right? And so he set out to make sure that his wife could be as successful as possible, that she could function in the earth during those 7 days or however long it takes. And this is a more of a lighthearted example, right? But that's what I'm saying. Women needed these things, right? Leveraged the one thing maybe at that time that benefited them the most to get what they could out of men. And then men started to change the rules, laws, the order, the structure, and started to acquiesce. Now we here.
Can I go?
Go ahead.
Because so when we first started doing Risky Tuesdays, I introduced the female matriarchy, right? The hidden matriarchy that is technically running a lot of different things, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, but you're looking at the beast. You're not looking at the creator of the beast, right? So when we say women end up single mothers, I say this, right? That's how they gain control. You would think that, women want the fathers around, but they wouldn't have 100% control over the kids and the outcomes of the kids, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're controlling a lot of the situation. There is a hidden matriarchy. Don't get me wrong. There is a lot of times where women may go around powerful men to push the button. Okay, but this is the
wait. That's the thing, right? You're gonna get the contradictions are gonna happen, right? because we hear it all the time about men frustrated that they can't see their kid, none of this, all this other shit, right? And then I'm only addressing this because Red Pill had shout out to him. He did the super chat, right? He talking about they was in love with them niggas and yada yada yada. The key portion that you just named is control.
Mm-hmm.
Control of the kid, you could damn near control the man.
Mm-hmm.
That's the real crux of it.
Okay, so this is what
Right.
I'm telling you. When you get the results that you're getting, you have to keep digging. All you have to do is keep on digging. This is why I said y'all need to stop. Y'all have to end patriarchy because it's not the women in charge. Because it's not going to benefit the women. It's going to benefit some men who are pulling the strings at the very top. So yeah, they use bottom men and they feed y'all to women and they give it because guess what? Women in the workplace means more money for them. Dysfunctional families, it means more for them. It means your kids are going to go to jail and we need to feed the prison industrial system. We need to feed opioids, all of this stuff, that big pharma, everything. It comes from dysfunction. So yeah, we'll empower these women and make them feel like they have some type of control so that they can, fuck the game up and do some dysfunctional shit so that we can win. But the people who are very much in charge are very much men.
Yeah, you're
The
talking
powers
about.
that be are very much males. That's what
So
I'm saying, though. So the system may make the woman look like
we're
the fall
talking.
partner, but
Yeah,
she's
we're
not.
talking.
She's not the leader.
We're talking about the majority, though, right? What the majority of men and women are subject to is the latter, right? So yes, it's a pseudo matriarchy because it's men at the tippity top, but the overwhelming majority of people are seemingly under the pseudo matriarchy. Because I agree, right? It's being allowed by the top, which is men, but it's being allowed to govern the majority of men.
Mm-hmm.
You see, and that part is what it is. But the other part that on a daily basis that we see day in and day out is the fact that we cannot control our loins, and women know that and use that to their advantage to get what they want.
But what if we didn't know that? Who told us that?
If your
Men?
aunt had a dick, she'd be your uncle.
No, this is what I'm saying though.
Oh,
Men knew that. Men knew that. Women are not your enemy. Other men trying to make sure that they stay on. Y'all are the ones competing with each other.
it's not even an enemy thing. It's about what is right and how we contribute to it. You know, it's set up in this way, right? And we contribute by saying this biological imperative is can't be controlled. And so women know that, and because you guys can control yours better than ours, we get taken. We you take advantage of it, and rightfully so. That's how manipulation works. If you don't have, like, for instance, if if the world was uncivilized, right, the physical prowess of men would probably reign. But
Yeah.
because it's civilized, the leverage that women have is like tenfold. You know, like
Yeah,
there's
because
I've seen so many.
systematically men have to be controlled, and that's from higher men, from understanding male nature. Like y'all have to have systems that are in control. It's never going to be just like if there's no consequences, people just wild out.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. And now we see the opposite gender wilding out because now men are super duper control. I've never been talked to by a man like disrespectfully more than like a woman. And I'm not saying like I'm super duper subject to it, but just in my life, I never like men didn't say such more crazy shit than women said. Like I was talking to this one girl about the Bible. She's like, "Man, I just want to punch you in your face." I said, "I don't. I wouldn't. Don't punch me. That's one thing you don't punch me. You know, I wouldn't advise. Don't punch me. I wouldn't advise that. Right?
Just
I
gonna
ain't
hit
even.
her.
I ain't even know her. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just out, just chilling.
You
Like,
was
I'm
gonna hit
reading.
her back, or you was gonna call sis.
Right, listen, don't hit me. That ain't what you want to do. Just out the break. You know what I'm saying? Like, like, don't do it. You know, I ain't saying I'm the tough, but you gonna have. But don't hit me, please. You know. But I ain't never niggas say, nigga, I'm a punk. What the fuck? Like they just. And so what happens, Sherelle? That's a great point. So now, since men have been yoked and civilized, right, to where brawn isn't it, right? Now we see the leverage switch, and then you couple all of that with sex and the lack of the discipline. Who running this shit for real? Because niggas say this, real last thing. Niggas say I live in a shoebox with my PlayStation in a futon. But when I get a woman, I gotta get a house, I gotta get a car, I gotta get this, I gotta and it's just like, damn, son, like keep it tall. I got a $3,000 coat rack because my wife asked for it in passing, like off the home.
No, I agree with that. I can understand that. I think that women are muses, women are there to inspire men to do better. I do think that men will definitely do what they need to do to make sure that they can take care of the woman that carries their legacy. I think that men are inclined to be that way.
Lineage.
But I think that's more like a biological imperative than just sex.
Yo, I don't know, because I'm really this now.
Yeah, because I feel like men, we've seen it over and over where men risk their lives for women that not having sex with. Men run into, if there's children in a burning building, men run into burning buildings to save children, to save women. That's their biological imperative more than it is just sex. That's not their kids and that's not their woman that they're having sex with, but they're still jumping to the way. When men join the military or go to different places, they're not fighting for just their family. They're fighting for a whole country of women and children. So
that's you're talking about a minute group, right?
Just think about it all over the world, since eons, men war.
A minuscule group, right? A minuscule group of men are police officers and firefighters and even the military, right? The overwhelming majority ain't doing a motherfucking thing.
But the average guy still stands up for women.
Niggas already said they don't
on the internet, but in real life, yes, they
no. That's the thing. You got like real life situations happening, right? Even little things. We reviewed this before. Niggas in the gym, the girl damn there, she about to choke out because the weight done fell on her neck. Niggas ain't fucking with that. Niggas ain't go to help her.
You think that happens more often than men?
Hell, niggas ain't going over there. Women be on the side of the road. Niggas ain't stopping no more. Fellas, put a 1 in the chat if most niggas is intervening in these type of situations. She got a flat tire. She fucking up in the gym. Put a 1 in the chat if most men are intervening, or put a 2 if niggas is laying low.
I be all over the country, and every time I need help, here comes some man.
We talking about the majority. We talking about what's the average.
So what I'm saying is men are helpful, regardless of what people say on the internet. Men are very helpful.
No, yes, here's the thing. It's mad people in the chat, right? These are just regular cats. Everybody at work chilling. They come over here to vibe with us. Like, why are they on the internet? They just watching TV. That's all it is. They watching TV. You know what I mean? But instead of watching Stephen A talk about sports he don't know about, they come up here and listen to this.
I just don't think y'all understand. If men were just these evil, I want sex.
Nobody said evil.
How fucked up the world would truly be.
It's unfair statement when you add evil. Nobody said evil.
It would be evil to just watch women suffer. I think so.
Well, no,
if you're just watching women and children suffer all the time, I think it would be very evil.
Listen, because we're making an honest assessment, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm not even like saying like what I would do or whatever the case is, but they told me I was crazy as hell for walking those 2 old women to their car at 3 a.m. That's what they told me. Hamp, you wild. Huh?
Internet niggas, gang.
I'm just saying though. They say, yo, Hamp, you bugging. You feel me? Look, like regular ass niggas. Riff, regular as hell. Riff be chilling. Yo, because the way of the world is just look how it looks. We niggas is assessing risk and danger.
Y'all on the internet are assessing risk and danger. Men are not like that. I've been through Hurricane Katrina. You know who was holding it down? Men. You know who was breaking into stores, breaking glasses to go get food to feed women and children? Men. You know who they was putting on helicopters first? Women and children. You know who they were protecting the most? The women and the children. You know who was going drown and do different things so that they could help more women and children? Men. In hard situations, good situations, men show up and get shit done. Men make sacrifices. That is how the world works. That is how it is. It's no other way around it. And that is the reason why the world is as advanced as it is, as progressing as it is. It's men. What are you
You,
talking about? Y'all are insane. Men get shit done.
what you doing? See, this is the thing that we have to differentiate, right? We keep thinking the men you see doing these things are not above average. These are a small group of men doing all these things, right? Now, average men put in their work for sure, right? But the motherfucking heroes, the men fighting for other people's lives in Katrina and putting women and children on on helicopters before themselves, knowing that when that helicopter fly off, he gonna die. Don't put that brave man with us fucking peons. That nigga it goes down in history doing shit like that.
It was
Them
so
niggas is
many of them,
them
him.
niggas, well, you got a bunch of legends in a
It
fucking
was just
grave
a
right
bunch
now.
of normal stuff to understand
I'm
that,
telling
we gotta
you.
do what we gotta do.
I'm just telling you, bro. I'm just telling you. We got heroes all the time, and the heroes get grouped in. Nah, those is heroes you talking about. That's all I'm saying. That's just me saying about those men. That's what I'm saying. You know, but this, I'm just assessing it, right? And let's say you're right, but you're saying it's not for sex; it's for an inclination to protect.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Yeah.
So, okay, in those aspects, I understand. But I'm just telling you what
I
the
think your
majority.
nature is either to build or destroy. So don't get me wrong, there are gonna be like people who choose to destroy. Or they're gonna be people that men that choose to build. I
But
think
here's the thing though that I have an issue with. Majority of the brothers, it's 300 people here, are literally saying the opposite of what you're saying. That doesn't mean that there's no men. But
they're
when
internet dudes.
but when I say I walked the two ladies to the car, they like, yo, you bugging. Like that's the thing. Like what's the thinking? Like what's going on? I mean, so we just gotta take because what we seeing is the majority against what I did and what you saying. I'm telling you, niggas do really niggas that do more for vagina than fucking a flat tire or at the gym. But if a nigga know he got pussy waiting at the end, you'd be surprised what a nigga do for a Klondike bar, nigga.
And they'll do more, but I don't know. Not my. It's just not my reality. I'm not coming into y'all. If that's your reality, I accept that. That's not my reality.
Nah, but you had to participate.
How do I have to participate? We in different realities. Maybe we're in a different
No,
realm.
no,
I'm
no,
in
no.
5D. Y'all in
Because no,
2D.
no, no. Here's what we got to do, right? As orators and facilitators of a conversation, we can't remove ourselves because it may not be our reality. The better objective is to understand and then see what we get at the end.
No, I
Because
just said I
I
understand.
I don't like it either. You see? But I'm just looking at what is normal, what is more normal now. Right? That's what I'm saying. Because again, I'm just thinking about it. A nigga, what will a nigga do for pussy?
They'll do a lot for Gucci.
You know, we just looking at it. You know what I'm saying? We just looking at it. You know, and I try my best. Like my daughters walk on the inside of me. You know what I'm saying? I was doing good with the pumping gas, right? But we just be running so much. You know what I'm saying? But I just seen these two ladies get. I didn't see, but I saw on the news these two ladies get snatched while they was pumping their gas a long, long time ago. So that's just a thing. I'm like, I'll be damned. Like if you can guard against little shit, you do. You know what I'm saying? Like just regular shit. You know, like my son, he walk in the house last and shit. You know what I mean? So I try to be that way. There's things I can improve on, 100%. Um, but I'm just looking at the microcosm of what it is we dealing with, and the fact that niggas would do a whole lot for pussy, right? The majority of niggas, who in charge?
Levels, but at the top of the level, it's men.
Come on, Sherelle. Come on, man. Come on.
I don't.
You,
I'm not gonna waver on it because
no, it's not. But that's the thing. Everybody be talking, and I was listening yesterday. Everybody talking about what they want to talk about, right? But we talking about the majority of men, average men. Chief, what's popping? With the chief in the building. So we talking about the majority of men that are under this pseudo thing, and it's important for us to discuss it because women are the leaders, especially because we control by our penises. What's the results? That's the part, really. I'm on board with what you're saying. Don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying about the men being at the top, but the majority of us aren't at the top. So now, what's the assessments?
Yeah, I think that women have more leverage with average men, especially in the institution of marriage and relationships.
Yeah, that's
right.
That's what we talking about mostly.
Yeah, so I believe that, right? But I also believe that at any moment, if they was to tap into their self-control, they would be back in charge.
But you know what I say about if, right?
If was a fifth, we'd all be drunk.
If your aunt had a dick, she'd be an uncle.